It's live now. You can begin.
Okay. And so Trustee House, if you want to start us off.
I think so. For the initial hearing, we will call to order the meeting for the Dolton Municipal Electoral Board. This meeting, December 15th, the time is 12:38 p.m. And I want to ask if I can, Amber, as the attorney, can you read the statement of findings in in-person meetings unfeasibility statement?
Yes, I can. And please be advised that on December 11, 2020, the governor of the state of Illinois issued his latest statewide disaster proclamation related to continuing public health emergency posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, and has further issued executive orders implementing further enhanced mitigation measures and restrictions. As such, pursuant to Section 7E of the Illinois Open Meetings Act and the Rules of Procedure, and as attorney for the board, or the chair of the board has determined that holding a meeting entirely in person that is otherwise conducted in full compliance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act is neither practical nor prudent because of the ongoing disaster. To the extent necessary, this meeting will be conducted with the option to participate via internet teleconference without requiring the physical presence of quorum. The chairperson further finds that due to the disaster, the physical presence of more than 10 people at regular meeting location is an accessible, hygienic, and legally compliant matter is not feasible. Alternative arrangements have been made to allow the public to contemporaneously hear all discussions, testimony, and roll call votes via the YouTube stream of the Zoom teleconference. All votes shall be conducted by a roll call vote, and a verbatim recording of this meeting shall be made and maintained in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. All participants are hereby further notified that by participating at this meeting, they acknowledge and are informed of this meeting's public recordings. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The next thing up we have is an introduction of Municipal Officers Electoral Board. So I am Jason House, the substitute chairperson of the Electoral Board, serving in the place of the mayor who is seeking election to the office at issue in this matter. Also serving on the Electoral Board is Village Clerk Mary Kay Dugan and Public Member Carrie Lynn Craftifer. Did I pronounce that correctly? Who is appointed by the Circuit Court of Cook County in place of Senior Trustee Tiffany Hinyard, who is seeking election to the office at issue in this matter as well. These members are provided for by the Illinois Election Code, which mandates our service to hear and pass upon objections filed against the candidates' nomination petitions. So with that being said, I'm going to ask if our clerk, Mary Kay, will call the roll for a quorum.
Trustee House.
Present.
Village Clerk present. Public Member Craftifer. Thank you. I'll get it one of these days. Present.
Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to adopt the rules of procedure. So Amber, if you would kind of go through the electoral rules.
Okay, I sent everybody a copy of the draft rules via email. A couple of things to note: that these rules are the standard rules for electoral board hearing. They've been adopted from Cook County and from the city of Chicago. The only substantial change in the rules compared to what you might have seen in previous years is the information regarding remote proceedings and compliance with the gubernatorial executive orders, and that is addressing what was essentially stated in the opening regarding COVID-19 and the necessity to do much of the electoral hearing via Zoom. Beyond that, it is the standard rules for this type of proceeding.
Okay, so any questions from the electoral board on the rules?
I have a question. Did we distribute these to the parties ahead of time or just to the electoral board?
Just to the electoral board. Once they're adopted, they'll be distributed to the parties.
Okay, I make a motion to adopt the rules.
Okay, I second the motion. So if I can, Clerk Dugan, would you give us a roll call, please?
There being no discussion further,
Oh,
Trustee House,
aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Member Crafter, I'll get it yet before this meeting is out.
You call me Carrie Lynn. Aye.
Thank you. Motion
Okay. And the next thing to move into the proceedings, I'm going to ask if Attorney Samuelson will direct us through the remainder of the proceedings and the agenda.
Okay. I'm calling case number 2020 DMOEB 01, Belcher versus Andrew Holmes. Do we have both parties present for Belcher versus Andrew Holmes?
Yes, Tiffany Nelson Jaworski on behalf of Kiana Belcher.
Trustee Andrew Holmes is here.
Okay. Have both parties have you filed an appearance in this matter?
I just sent my appearance. I sent my appearance for all matters over to you, Ms. Samuelson. I don't have contact information for the other side on pending matters at this time, so I did not forward those to them. I'd be happy to, if provided with an email address to do so.
It looks like maybe they put their names in the chat or their addresses.
Oh, okay, I see. Got it. I will forward those over to, but I don't have anything on this one. I don't know if Mr. Holmes is appearing pro se or if he's got an attorney. And if he's appearing pro se, then I'll need his email address to send him a copy of my appearance.
And I did receive a copy of your appearance, so thank you. Mr. Holmes, have you filed an appearance in this matter?
Yes, I'll be appearing today, and my attorney, who's absent, but he will be available, once we proceed.
Okay. And did he, when you received a copy of the call, you also received an appearance form. Do you know if your attorney has sent that over yet?
No, not as of yet.
Okay, then I ask that any appearance be filed by the end of business today, okay? And the
Mr.
actual
Holmes.
appearance form.
Mr. Holmes, who is your attorney?
Perry, spelled the last name A-B-O-S-S-I.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that again? Mr. Holmes, could you repeat?
Perry is the first, Perry is the first name. The last name is A-B-A-S-S-I.
Okay. Right. And as I stated, I will be sending a copy of the rules of procedure via email at the end of this meeting today. The next thing is introduction and labeling and entry of electoral board exhibits. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2 are the candidate's nomination papers. Exhibit 3 is the call of the electoral board. Exhibit 4, the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit 5, proofs of service, waivers of service, and appearances filed by the parties in this case. Exhibit 6 are the rules of procedure. Exhibit 7 is the order appointing Carrie Lynn I'm going to screw up her last name, I apologize. Craftifer. And Exhibit 8 is the public member oath. I would ask for a motion to accept the electoral board's exhibits into evidence.
May I ask a question on it first of all? So
Okay.
exhibit number 5, the service of call on the members. Do we have in here also the service of call or waivers of service on the electoral board members?
Proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties in the electoral board case. The way that it's written, no, we do not. Should I add that?
Yeah, so let's add that as maybe number 9 then.
Okay. Or that would be exhibit 9.
And I think we have everything else. So I'll make a motion to adopt those board exhibits.
Second. Okay, it was motioned and seconded. So, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Trustee House,
Aye. Aye.
and try it again. Member Craftifer,
Aye.
slightly better. Aye. And myself, yeah, aye.
Okay. At this time, I would ask that the objector's attorney provide a brief summary of issues raised and state whether they are purely legal or if there are factual matters that need to be determined.
Hi, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. And thank you very much, members of the board. Again, Tiffany Nelson-Jaworski appearing on behalf of the objector, Kiana Belcher. The issue is it's a hybrid question of law and fact. There are some facts that need to be fleshed out. So there's a few issues in these petitions with Mr. Holmes. The first being that he filed multiple sets of nominating petitions. There was first a set filed on the first day of the filing period, and then another set filed on the last day of the filing period. I do believe that at some point the first set was withdrawn. So there's a question as to whether that withdrawal was proper and whether in fact the first set should rule or whether the second set should rule. And so we've argued that the first set should rule. If the first set does rule, there is what we believe to be a fatal defect in the statement of candidacy, where the candidate has stated that he was being nominated by caucus rather than seeking the Democratic Party nomination. Nominations by caucus are reserved mostly for township elections and some other types of elections, but it was not in fact nominated by caucus. So that is an incorrect statement, making the statement of candidacy then false and completely invalidating the statement of candidacy, thereby invalidating the nomination papers and preventing the candidate from appearing on the ballot. So that relates to the first set of nomination papers. There are also other issues related to the statement of candidacy in both sets of nominating papers, set 1 and set 2, and that deals with the candidate's residency. Upon information and belief, we do not believe that the candidate actually has maintained residency in the village of Dolton for 1 year prior to the election. We do not believe he has the residence, that he's satisfied the residency requirement provided under the Illinois Municipal Code. Upon information and belief, we believe that the candidate likely lives at one of two addresses, either 3750 West 80th Street in Chicago, Illinois, or possibly 7731 South Wood Street, also in Chicago, Illinois. The tax records of 3750 West 80th Street, which we will be requesting a subpoena for because this is what our online search shows, but we would like a subpoena for this. The tax records for that address on 80th Street show that the owner, and the deed records show that the owner is Andrew Holmes, show that the taxes are paid by Andrew Holmes, and also show that a homeowner's exemption has been collected at that property. And upon information and belief, we believe it is the same Andrew Holmes. Alternatively, the Holmes Foundation Corp., which is the foundation run by Mr. Andrew Holmes, as far as we understand it, has a service address or the agent's address as 7731 South Wood Street. The agent is named as Andrew Holmes. The Cook County Assessor's records show that somebody named Helen Andrews Holmes is the taxpayer for the property, and homeowners exemptions have been applied to that property. And upon information and belief, that is the candidate's wife. So we believe that the candidate either lives at the address on Wood Street or the address on 80th Street, but that he does not live at the address provided in the nomination petitions. So therefore, we do not believe that the candidate is a legal resident of the village of Dolton. And we also have failed to indicate his unit number on his petitions, if he actually does live in Dolton. He also failed to indicate his unit number on his petitions. The building in which he lives is an apartment building, or allegedly lives is an apartment building with approximately 4 to 8 units. And under the Illinois Election Code, specifically Section 710 of the Illinois Election Code, the candidate needs to state their address. And a failure to include your apartment number does not give a valid address, does not allow people to be able to know where to find you, and is an invalid address. So those are the bases for our objections. As stated, we will be requesting leave to file some subpoenas. I understand I was not served with a copy of the rules from the electoral board, but I did receive a copy from my client. So I do understand that the process for requesting a subpoena is to send a request in writing to the electoral board with a copy of the subpoena. So I would like leave to do so. And the items that I will be subpoenaing are the Cook County Treasurer's Office, the Cook County Assessor's Office, the Cook County Recorder's Office, the Cook County Clerk's Office for voting records, the utilities for the properties that we indicated, the one on 80th Street, the one on Wood Street, as well as the address, as well as the utilities for the property at 14708 South Indiana, which is the property that the candidate has indicated that he lives in on his petitions. That one might be a little difficult though, because again, we don't have an apartment number. So we may get multiple results from that subpoena. So we will be asking for leave to file such a subpoena.
Okay, the rules don't seem to require that you have to ask permission ahead of time. So I think if you just file that in writing with us, that would be sufficient for us to grant that.
Okay, is there a deadline that the board would like the subpoenas by? I do understand my opposing counsel is not here, so I do want to, take that into some consideration.
How much time do you think you would need?
If I could have till the close of business tomorrow.
That seems reasonable to me if it's sufficient with the other board members.
Yes.
That with me.
Okay. Did you have anything else in summary of your case then?
No, nothing else in summary. I think this, once we obviously get the responses from the subpoenas, then we'll have a little bit more to talk about.
Thank you.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I understand your attorney is not here today. Do you know if he's planning on filing any type of preliminary motions?
Oh, yes, he will.
Okay. Do you know how much time he would be requesting for those?
2 days.
Okay, 2 days. So that puts us at December 17th for any preliminary motions. Is that okay with the board?
Okay, that's fine with me.
That's fine with me. Mr. Holmes, you need to make sure that your lawyer gets a copy of the procedural rules because the rules specify how he has to file that motion and who he has to send it to and everything. So make sure that he has a copy of the rules, okay?
Yes.
And as I stated before, Mr. Holmes, make sure he files his appearance by close of business today. So that way we have his contact information to send the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if preliminary motions are due, let's do December 17th at noon. And then responses due on Saturday, December 19th at noon. Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
Okay. And we need to then set this case for hearing / argument on any preliminary motions. And I would suggest setting this for Tuesday, December 22nd at 12:30.
That works for me.
Fine.
It works for me.
Okay, that would work.
Wait for 1 second. I'm sorry, I gotta grab something. Sorry, my apologies.
Okay. Calling case.
Hold on 1 second. I just need to. Okay, I just need to start a new file between each case. So, okay,
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
let me make a motion then to establish the briefing schedule that the attorney just articulated and to recess this board for case number 1 until Friday, December 22nd at 12:30. But before we do that, we have to ask if we have any public comment on this matter.
Okay.
And please note that if there are any public comments, the board is required under the Open Meetings Act to listen to them, but they will not be considered at all in the board's deliberation, and they won't be evidentiary. Madam IT Director, did we have any comments on from the public related to this particular hearing?
We do. Amber, I sent those as you requested in the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the public comment is all related to whether or not it's a conflict of interest for Attorney Dennis to represent a party in this matter when he is the village prosecutor. And these comments are all coming from one individual. However, that's not related to this particular case because Dennis is not representing Mr. Higgins.
In addition, conflicts of interest with respect to who's representing who are not something that the electoral board has the matter to consider. So you would have to raise those issues outside of this. Are there any other public comments?
Those are the only public comments so far.
Okay, then I would make that motion to set that briefing schedule and to recess until the 22nd at 12:30 on case number 1.
Second.
And roll call, trustee House,
Aye.
member Craftheffer,
Aye.
and I.
Okay. Calling case number 2, which is Belcher versus Rogers, 2020 DMOEB 02. Can the parties please introduce themselves?
Yes, Tiffany and Elson Jaworski on behalf of the objector.
Dennis Giannopoulos on behalf of the candidate Riley Rogers.
Okay, and I acknowledge that we have received appearances for both of the attorneys in this case. All right. And as I said previously, I will email, having received your appearances, I will send you a copy of the rules of procedure at the end of today's hearing. Next, I'd like to introduce and label and enter the electoral board exhibits. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2, candidates' nomination papers. Exhibit 3, the call of the electoral board. Exhibit 4, the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit 5, proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6, the rules of procedure. Exhibit 7, the order appointing Carrie Lynn as public member. Exhibit 8, the public member oath. And Exhibit 9, the the waivers of service or proofs of service on the members. Can I please have a motion to accept the board's exhibits into evidence?
Well, so because we have a separate meeting here, I think this isn't a continuation of the first meeting because it looks like there was a separate notice. So I believe that we have to adopt rules again here so that we can then include them in the exhibits.
Okay, I'll go back to the start then. Thank you. So do we need to start with roll call for quorum?
Yeah, it looks like from the agenda that was posted for this, it was posted separately. So I think we have to do the roll call and then adoption of the procedural rules.
Okay, Ms. Clerk?
Trustee House,
Present.
Clerk Dugan present, Member Craftifer present,
Yes.
question mark,
Present.
present.
And then I would make a motion to adopt the procedural rules.
Second.
Okay. There being no discussion, Trustee House,
Aye.
Member Craftifer,
Aye.
and aye from the clerk.
And then I would make a motion to adopt the board's exhibits as specified by the attorney with the addition, Ms. Samuelson, of that last, the proofs of service of the call also on the electoral board members.
Yes, Exhibit 9.
Yeah,
The proof of service or waiver of service on the electoral board members.
so I would make the motion to adopt those board exhibits.
Second.
There be no discussion, Trustee House,
Aye.
clerk, aye, Member Craftifer,
Aye.
Okay. Next, I'd like to request the objector's attorney to provide a summary of issues raised and state whether they are purely legal or if there are factual matters that need to be determined.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time. And thank you very much, honorable board members. Today, again, Tiffany Nelson Jaworski on behalf of the objector, Kiana Belcher. And these objections are also a residency objection. Upon information and belief, we believe that the candidate does not actually reside at the address stated on the petitions and instead resides at a couple, possibly at a couple different addresses. We're trying to determine which one. 6409 South Ashland, Chicago, apartment 3, and 1842 West 108th Street, also in the city of Chicago. As such, we do not believe that the candidate has satisfied the 1-year residency requirement required under the Illinois Municipal Code. And we do not believe that he is eligible for office, thereby obliterating his statement of candidacy, making it false and invalid, and resulting in the statement of candidacy. It should result in the statement of candidacy being thrown out, being found invalid, thereby invalidating his nomination papers and preventing the candidate from appearing on the ballot. Similar to the prior case, we also will be requesting subpoenas. So we will be sending that. And I would also ask for, similar to the other case, by the close of business tomorrow, if it would be agreeable to opposing counsel and to the board, I can send out the request for the subpoenas to the board for issuance.
I'm agreed.
I agree.
Thank you. Does that briefly summarize then your case?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Mr. Giannopoulos, then do you want to summarize your position?
Yes, good afternoon, members of the board. The position of the candidate is that the objector's petition fails to comply with the requirements of section 10-8 and that they fail to fully state the nature of the objections. I'll be seeking leave to file a motion to strike and dismiss attacking the legal sufficiency of the objector's petition.
How much time would you need to file a motion to dismiss?
I would ask till close of business on Friday if that's doable with the schedule that's been previously announced. If it needs to be done sooner, certainly I'll comply.
If we extend that to Friday, Ms. Nelson, would you be able to reply like by Monday at noon?
Yes, Monday. Actually, Monday would be much better than Saturday, even on the other. But I was obviously sorry, I've got a barking dog, to be agreeable with the board.
Okay. So board members, would that be sufficient then if we allowed Mr. Giannopoulos to file his preliminary motion by Friday at the close of business, and then gave Ms. Nelson Jaworski until the close of business on Monday?
That's sufficient.
Yes.
Okay, and then, So I guess I would make a motion to establish that briefing schedule.
Okay,
Second,
second, okay.
And then, Madam IT Director, do we have any public comments related to this particular case?
No, we don't at this time. All the comments, I'm forwarding them directly to Amber, but we don't have any at this time.
Okay, thank you. So if there's no public comment, and if there's nothing further on this, is there anything further that the parties need on this? Otherwise, maybe what we should do is set this case for Tuesday, December 22nd at 1 o'clock. So it would be right after the last one. Would that work? Okay, then I will make a motion to recess this electoral board until Tuesday, December 22nd at 1 o'clock p.m.
Second,
okay. Trustee House,
aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Member Craftifer,
Aye.
3 ayes. And just to note on the motion schedule, there was a motion and a second, but we did not do a roll call.
Oh.
Am I safe to presume it's 3 ayes?
Well, why don't you just do yes, aye. Thank you for pointing that out. It's always the clerks that keep us on our toes.
Thank you for that.
All right, moving on to next case. Belcher versus Robert Shaw, case number 2020 DMOEB 03. Ms. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee House,
Present,
Clerk Dugan present, Member Craftifer,
Present.
all present.
I make a motion that we adopt the electoral board rules.
second,
Same as above. Trustee House,
aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Member Craftifer,
Aye.
Can the parties please introduce themselves?
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski on behalf of the objector.
And Keith Spence on behalf of the candidate.
And I have received appearances from both parties, so thank you for that. And as I stated, I will send a copy of the rules of procedures to the email addresses provided in your appearance at the end of today's hearing. Next, I'd like to introduce, label, and enter the electoral board exhibits. Exhibit number 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit number 2, the candidate's nomination papers. Exhibit number 3, the call of the electoral board. Exhibit number 4, the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit number 5, the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties in the electoral board case. Exhibit number 6, the rules of procedure. Exhibit number 7, the order appointing Carrie Lynn as public member. Exhibit number 8, the public member oath. And exhibit number 9, the proofs of service or waivers of service on members of the electoral board.
Okay, yeah, I will make a motion then to adopt board exhibits 1 through 9.
Second,
there being no discussion, Trustee House,
aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Member Craftifer,
Aye.
At this time, I would request that the objector's attorney provide a summary of issues raised and state whether they are purely legal, factual, or if there are factual matters that need to be determined.
Yes, thank you. Again, Tiffany Nelson Jaworski, and this case deals with a hybrid of legal issues as well as factual issues. There's also a residency objection. In this case, it's our understanding that the candidate does not actually live at the address indicated on the petitions, and that instead he likely lives at an address located at 4459 West Washington Street. Furthermore, so we will be requesting subpoenas. And again, I would ask until 5 p.m. tomorrow to request that subpoena. And the other issue in this matter is whether the failure to date the notary jurat at the bottom of the circulator's affidavit, whether to failure to date the notary, whether that is a violation of the election code and the Notary Act, and whether that should remove the candidate from the ballot.
Thank you. Mr. Spence, do you want to make a brief summary of your position?
Well, we will be filing a motion, seeking leave to file a motion to strike and dismiss as well. I would also be requesting if we could have that filed by close of business on December 18th.
Okay, so that's the same, like the same briefing schedule that we did in the last case.
Yes.
Would that also work for you, Ms. Nelson-Jaworski?
Yeah, if we could do the same briefing schedule, that's fine.
And board members, what do you think?
It's fine.
Same briefing
Okay.
schedule makes sense.
Then I would make a motion to establish that briefing schedule for the parties.
Second.
There being no discussion, trustee House,
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Member Craftifer,
Aye. Then I would just again ask our Madam IT whether or not we have any public comment related specifically to this hearing.
No, we do not for this hearing.
Okay, and board members and parties, how does December 22nd at 1:30 sound
That's
for
great.
this hearing? Would that be okay, just following sequentially?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then I would make a motion to recess this electoral board proceeding until Tuesday, December 22nd at 1:30.
Second.
no discussion, trustee House,
Aye.
member Craftifer,
Aye,
skipped myself, aye.
thank you. I think those are the only cases I'm on, so I'm going to sign out, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
All right, so moving on, we'll have a change of boards. So. Give me a moment. Do we have all the board members present for case number 20-04? So I'm asking if Mr. Chair Rogers, Trustee House, and Trustee Henyard. Can you all say if you're present?
Present.
Yeah, I'm present as well.
Okay. And Mayor Rogers, you're on mute. Oh, there you go.
I'm here.
Okay, I think we are ready to proceed.
Could I get just a moment, a couple minutes?
Sure. Do we want to take, let's say, a 5-minute
Reset.
break?
Yes.
Recess, come back at, let's see, let's go 1:16 now. Come back at let's do 1:25, make it easy for everybody. Does that work?
That works.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Samuelson,
Yes,
ready to go?
I am. Are you ready?
As ready as I'm gonna be?
All right.
Okay, you want us to call her order right now? We're back up at about 120, 126.
Um, Do you want me to call it order, or would you like to do it?
We can call to order the electoral board today at, today is what, December 15th? Let the record reflect it is 127. How about the statement findings? Do we need to go through that again, or?
Because it's a different board, we do.
Okay. All right. You want me to read it, or are you going to read it?
It's up to you, sir.
Okay, I'll read it. Please be advised that on December 11, 2020, the governor of the state of Illinois issued his latest statewide disaster proclamation related to continuing public health by the COVID-19 pandemic, and has further issued executive orders implementing further enhanced mitigation measures and restrictions. As such, pursuant to Section 7E of the Illinois Open Meetings Act and the rules of procedure, and as chair of this board, I have determined that holding a meeting entirely in person, that it is otherwise conducted in full compliance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act, in neither practical nor prudent because of the ongoing disaster. To the extent necessary, this meeting will be conducted with the option to participate via internet teleconference and without requiring the physical presence of a quorum. I further find that due to the disaster, the physical presence of more than 10 people at the regular meeting location in an accessible, hygienic, and legally compliant manner is not feasible. Alternative arrangements have been made to allow the public to contemporaneously, if I got that right here, all discussion, testimony, and roll call votes via Zoom teleconference. All votes should be conducted by roll call vote, and verbatim record of this meeting shall be made and maintained in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. All participants are hereby further notified that participating at this meeting, they acknowledge and are informed of this meeting's public recording. Thank you. The introduction of municipal officers, electoral board. I am Riley Rogers, as chairperson of the electoral board. Also serving on the electoral board in the village is the village clerk, Mary Kay Dugan, and senior trustee, Tiffany Henry.
That's for the trustees. Electoral
Yeah.
board there.
Okay.
We're starting with case number 05, which is the clerk. So if we could take a another brief recess, and Mr. Mayor, I will resend you the script for this particular race. Does that work?
That works.
All right. So resume at 1:35.
Okay.
Thank you.
She's sending it to me, Mayor.
Okay, good.
Didn't? No.
No, we just on 5-minute recess. Okay. Attorney Samuelson, shall we continue?
Well, let's give everybody a chance to come on. I do apologize about the confusion with having 3 different boards for 3 different races. It gets to, things get mixed up, so. Yeah, we're waiting for, I think, the 2 trustees.
I'm present.
Okay. Trustee Henyard? Oh, there she is. She's
I'm here.
all right, perfect. Mayor, if you want to start where we left off, so on paragraph number 2.
Okay, introduction of municipal officers for the electoral board. I am Riley Rogers, chairperson of the electoral board. Also serving on the electoral board is senior trustee Tiffany Henyard and second senior trustee Jason House. These members are provided by the Illinois Election Code, which mandates our service to hear and pass upon objections filed against candidates' nomination papers. Item 3, roll call.
I can do that, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Chairman Rogers?
Here.
Trustee Henyard?
Present.
Trustee House?
Here.
All members of the board are here. Actually don't need a quorum, right? But the members are here. Our quorum is established, okay. Item 4, adoption of the rules of procedure. Board attorney?
Yes, so all of the rules of procedure were sent to members of the board. As I stated in the last hearing, these are the standard rules of procedure for an electoral board hearing. The rules of procedure that have been adopted by Cook County as well as the city of Chicago. The only change that you'll see in this year compared to last year, previous years if you've served on an electoral board, is that there is a section 2A which deals with remote proceedings and compliance with gubernatorial executive orders. This is due to the COVID-19 pandemic and because of the changes to the Open Meetings Act and allowing us to do hearings via Zoom instead of in person. So Rule 2A addresses that. Other than that, the rules are pretty standard.
Okay. Item 4 on the agenda here is the proceedings on objection Belcher versus Andrea Parker.
We do need to have a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt the rules as presented.
Second.
There's been motion and second to adopt the rules. No discussion, roll call.
Chairman Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Henyard?
Aye.
Trustee House?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, item 4, proceedings on the objections. Belcher versus Andrea Parker, 2020, item number 4. Call of the docket. Okay, we're calling the docket Kiana Belcher versus Andrea Parker. Is there an introduction of the parties that are filing appearances?
Yes, Tiffany Nelson Jaworski on behalf of the objector, Kiana Belcher.
And Keith Spence on behalf of the candidate, Andrea Parker.
And of course, both of you have filed appearances. Attorney Samuelson, have we got receipt of the appearances on behalf of the parties?
Yes, we did receive a copy of their appearances, and I did just send a copy of the rules of procedure to both of the attorneys. So,
Okay,
and they confirm that they received them, or if not,
Acknowledge receipt, yeah.
Going into my email, I have not received them yet.
okay.
I did, I apologize. Hold on. Yes, I received them, thank you.
Okay, both attorneys are in receipt of the rules of procedure. Village Attorney, you want to take over from this point?
Sure. Next is the introduction, labeling, and entry of electoral board exhibit. Exhibit number 1 are the objector's petition. Exhibit number 2, candidates' nomination papers. Exhibit number 3, the call of the electoral board. Exhibit number 4, the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit number 5, proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties in the applicable electoral board case. Exhibit number 6, the rules of procedure. And exhibit number 7, proof of service, waivers of service for the electoral board members. Can I get a motion to accept the electoral board's exhibits into evidence?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the electoral boards.
I'll second. Attorney Samuelson, did we mention the Exhibit 9 similar to the previous cases?
Yes, so because there is no public member, we do not have exhibits from the previous case, exhibit 7 and 8. So in this case, exhibit 9 is exhibit 7.
Okay,
That makes sense.
that makes sense. Can we add that in as well?
Yes, I did. Exhibit 7 is the proof of service and waivers of the electoral board members.
Thank you.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
there's been a motion to accept the following proceedings and seconded. With no discussion, it's a roll call.
Chairman Rogers.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Motion carries. 3 ayes. Okay. Is there a summary of the issues?
Yes, at this point, I would ask that the objector's attorney provide a summary of the issues raised and whether they are purely legal or if there are factual matters that need to be determined.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the electoral board's time. This matter involves the notary jurat not being dated. So this one is a purely legal issue. The documents speak for themselves. There is no date on the bottom of the circulator's affidavit on each and every petition sheet. And as such, we believe that that does not comply with the Illinois Notary Act as well as the Illinois Election Code, and that the candidate's nomination papers should be stricken in their entirety. And are happy to brief that. As I assume that opposing counsel is probably going to have a motion to strike and dismiss.
That is correct. They'll need to file that motion to strike and dismiss. If I could have the same briefing schedule as the prior case.
I have no objection to that.
So motions filed by December 18th at close of business and responses due on December 21st at close of business, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, is that okay with the board?
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes.
Okay, would someone make a motion to adopt the briefing schedule?
I'll make a motion to adopt the briefing schedule as stated.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion and second to adopt the briefing statement. With no discussion, roll call.
Chairman Rogers.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Motion carries. 3 ayes.
Okay,
Okay.
and then the hearing December 22nd at 2 o'clock. Does that work for the party?
Yes, it does.
And does that work for the board members?
That's fine. with
Yes.
me.
Yes.
There are no public comments regarding the specific case. So seeing that there are no public comments, I would ask that the board make a motion to recess until December 22nd at 2 o'clock for hearing on this matter.
So moved.
Okay, second.
Okay, there being no further discussion, Chairman Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Henyard?
Aye.
Trustee House?
Aye.
Motion carries 3 ayes.
Okay. So next we will move to the board for the trustees. So that would be Mayor Rogers as chair, Trustee Henyard, and Mary Clerk Dugan to that board. And Mayor, when you are ready, the separate script. So let me know when you've got it.
What case is this?
This one starts off with case number 2020-05.
Okay. Okay.
But as we did with the mayoral cases, at the end, after we recess the case for hearing or to the next date, we will then go back to number 3 for roll call and start from there for each of the cases.
And we said this is 05?
Yes.
Okay.
And
All right.
we have to start at the very beginning. So
Yes.
calling it and the statement on the pandemic and everything.
All right. Okay, we'd like to call to order. The electoral board for December 15th for case number 2020 DMOEB item 5. And calling to order a statement and findings in person meeting on feasibility due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Please be advised that on December 11, 2020, the governor of the state of Illinois issued his latest statewide disaster proclamation related to continuing public health emergency posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, and has further issued executive orders implementing further enhanced mitigation measures and restrictions. As such, pursuant to Section 7C of the Illinois Open Meetings Act and the rules of procedure and chair of this board, I have determined that holding a meeting entirely in person that is otherwise conducted in full compliance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act is neither practical nor prudent because of the ongoing disaster. To the extent necessary, this meeting will be conducted with the option to participate via interstate teleconference and without requiring the physical presence of a quorum. I further find that due to the disaster, the physical presence of more than 10 people at the regular meeting location in an accessible, hygienic, and legally compliant manner is not feasible. Alternative arrangements have been made to allow the public to you know what I'm talking about, contemporarily hear all discussion, testimony, and roll call votes via Zoom teleconference. All votes shall be conducted by roll call vote, and verbatim record of this meeting shall be made and maintained in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. All participants are hereby further notified that by participating at this meeting, they acknowledge and are informed of this meeting's public recording. Okay. For the introduction of the municipal officers for the electoral board, I, Riley Rogers, is the chairperson of the electoral board. Also serving on the electoral board is the village clerk, Mary Kay Dugan, and senior trustee, Tiffany Henry. These members are provided by the Illinois Election Code which mandates our service to hear and pass upon objections filed against candidates' nomination papers. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Rogers,
Here.
Clerk Dugan here, Trustee Henyard.
Present.
Okay, members of the board are here. The quorum has been established, and I'm going to turn over the adoption of rules procedure to our electoral board attorney.
As a preliminary matter, I wasn't sure when to raise this, Attorney Samuelson, but we would like to file a motion to disqualify 2 members of the electoral board due to conflicts and
Okay.
to be improper conflicts based on the established case law, as well as the Ochoa versus Town of Cicero Officers Electoral Board case, and that the 2 electoral boards specifically, electoral board members, specifically Member Rogers and Member Dugan, have a financial interest, have a pecuniary interest tied in with candidate Higgins. They are all not just running together, it's more than just political affiliation. They have appeared on campaign flyers together, which are in fact paid for by Friends of Riley Rogers. And as such, I'm prepared to file a written motion and I can get that on file by noon tomorrow.
I think once we have the written motion, we'll address it at that point. Does that seem correct?
Sure. I'm sure my opposing counsel will probably want a time to respond to the
Yes.
motion.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll have the motion to disqualify on file by tomorrow.
Yes, I can have it on file by noon tomorrow. Oh, could I just have to the close of business tomorrow, just in case?
Okay.
I've got another hearing tomorrow right in the middle of the day, just remembered.
Okay.
And if we're setting a briefing schedule on that at this point, I don't know when the appropriate time would be to discuss this, but I'd like to have an opportunity to reply.
Okay. Do you know how much time you're going to need?
If Tiffany gets hers on file by close of business tomorrow, could I get until 12 noon? Tomorrow's Wednesday, correct?
Yeah.
12 noon on Friday?
I have no objection to that.
Okay. So 12/18 at noon for a
Yeah.
response?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We could, I hate to do this in the middle of the, but could we take a 3-minute break for a second? Just need to.
Sure, and one other quick question while you're on break to consider is just, this is also a residency objection, so we're also going to be requesting subpoenas. So yeah, I just wanted to put that on record. So just in considering that in your discussions. So.
Okay, let's come back at 1:55 if we could.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Are we ready?
Yes. So, are we back on the record, Madam Court Reporter? Okay. For the motion to disqualify, let's set that for hearing. Does December 23rd work for everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Question, so why is it after all the other hearings? When we hear that first, so we can get a board in place?
So my thought is because we have nine objections, that we do the mayoral and the clerk objection hearings on one day. And then we do all of the trustee objections on the following day, just so we're not doing 9 on one day, just to sort of break it up a bit. So the objection in this case is to the makeup of the board for the trustee hearings. So it would give us, that would be heard on the 23rd, that would be heard first. And then depending on what happens, we would either move on to the 5 trustee cases, or we would have to recess on that date. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then when we recess, say for instance that happens and they're removed, what? We gotta wait another week to hear the case again? How does that work? Because we're going into Christmas is what I'm concerned about.
Obviously we're not going to have hearings on Christmas, and I realize that we're kind of bumping up on the holidays. So if additional hearings are needed, they would be early in the following week. And we would hopefully get through these in December. So obviously we wouldn't have a hearing on the probably wouldn't have a hearing on the 24th or 25th. We would come back on the 28th would be the next date.
Is it possible, my suggestion was the 22nd is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Can we hear this on that Monday? And that way we can have a decision and move forward to the following week or within that week.
Okay, I guess we're kind of jumping ahead on the agenda, but
I didn't think it was a particular order because it's a hearing to remove people. It's not going over the case per se.
right.
So I'm asking if the board agree, can we hear it Monday as relates to if they're going to be removed or not? And that way we're right on schedule. It won't keep pushing it back further and further.
Well, I guess my question would be for the attorneys. I would imagine that there would be an intent to also file other motions related to the trustee cases that are issued in relation to the motion to disqualify. Were you hoping to keep those on the same sort of timeline? So everything would be, if the motion to disqualify is denied, it's argued that same day, or would you be okay with putting the motion to disqualify on the 21st and then resuming again on the 23rd? Because I think that scheduling everything with the intent of hearing it on the 21st might be a little tight of a timeline.
I mean, I'm whatever pleases the board. I'm fine with arguing it on Monday and coming back on Wednesday to potentially hear the case if the motion is denied. If the motion is granted, obviously, then there'll need to be some time to seat a public member. That may take a day or two, though. So we might actually be able to hear the case on the board may actually be able to hear the case on the 23rd. So I'm fine with that, whatever pleases the board.
Okay.
Additionally, whatever pleases the board, whatever makes it most convenient to the board.
Okay. Any discussion from the board regarding setting the motion to disqualify for Monday, the 21st?
If it's fine with the attorneys, it's fine with me.
Got no objection.
Okay.
So just to, I guess then let's quickly go over the briefing schedule, because I think I just want to make sure I get the briefing schedule correct. So my motion by the close of business tomorrow, and Mr. Giannopoulos will file his response by Friday, and then we will argue this case on Monday, the 23rd, I'm sorry, Monday
21st.
first rather. What time again?
Does 12:30 work for everybody?
Bear with me for 1 second.
Does 12:30 work for the board members as well?
That's fine.
That's
Yes,
fine with me.
12:30 on the 21st, is that correct?
12:30 on the 21st. See, I should. Yes, 12:30 on the 21st.
Works for me.
Okay. And then can I get a motion to adopt that hearing schedule?
A motion to adopt the hearing schedule for Monday, the 21st at 12:30.
Second.
It's been second. No discussion on that. Madam Clerk, you call the roll.
Chairman Rogers.
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Excuse me, my voice. Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Now, I apologize. I don't know where we left off.
I think you still need to adopt all the rules and stuff, but I think you do that after the ruling on the motion to disqualify. So I don't think, unless Mr. Giannopoulos disagrees, I think that if the composition of the board changes, they're gonna have to go through those motions and adopt all the exhibits and everything again. So I think we have to wait until the motion to disqualify is ruled upon and then do all the other preliminary steps, if I may suggest that.
I would agree. That appears to make the most sense.
Okay. All right. And isn't there another attorney on some of these cases as well? Or
Attorney
Mr.
Stubbs.
Yeah,
On the other cases, yeah, but I'm not involved in the motion to
Yeah,
disqualify.
we only have the motion to disqualify on the Higgins case and the Towers case, because that's the only cases in which some of the members of the electoral board have ties with the candidates that are being objected to. So
okay,
we don't have the same issue. I'll be asking for the same briefing schedule if it pleases everyone for the Towers case also.
so you'll be making your motion for the Towers case and for the Higgins case?
Yeah, Towers and Higgins are the ones that I have the motion to disqualify on.
Okay,
The other cases, we don't have a motion to disqualify.
Okay, so on the Towers case, are we saying now we're not going to go forward with anything on the Towers case right now because of the objection? It's going to be the same objection.
I think what we'll do is we will call the case so that way we can have a briefing schedule on the record.
Okay.
And then it sounds like we will we will then continue that case to another date. So understanding that the motion will be heard on the 21st. I would then, I guess, recommend continuing the case for the 23rd. So does continuing this case until, well, actually, because we're hearing the case on the 21st on the motion. So I guess I would ask for a motion to continue case number 2020 DMOEB 05 until December 21st at 12:30.
Okay, don't we have a motion on the floor already?
Then we have
Yeah.
a motion to
Yes.
accept the hearing schedule.
Okay, so that hearing schedule is for 05.
Right.
And then can we call for a motion to make the continuance on 06, setting either the same date and or a different time without going through the formality of the whole docket here?
No, because 06, because she's not planning on objecting to the makeup on the board for case number 06
Okay,
or 08 or 09. We can move forward with those today.
yeah, what cases for the Towers case? What number is that?
That would be 07.
Okay, I don't have that in front. I do not have that in front of me. But if we can take a vote on the continuance of the 05 case and then call the 07 case, and just for formality reasons to continue it to that date and or change the time on it
Okay,
to save some time here.
okay. So
There's a
I
motion
would
on the
ask for a motion to recess the board until December 21st, 2020 at 12:30.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to adopt the rules, right?
No, there's still a motion on the floor to adopt the briefing schedule and the hearing date.
Correct.
For Monday.
to
Okay,
disqualify.
okay, all right. Why don't we take a roll on that?
Mayor, my question is, we're taking a roll on both together,
No, we're taking a roll on 05, then she's gonna
Which
call 07.
which
And
is
then-
just Towers, right? That's Towers?
Higgins,
Right.
Higgins is 05.
Oh, Higgins. Okay,
And
and that's to
then-
have a hearing for the 21st at 12:30, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Madam Clerk?
For clarification, I thought I heard that there was a motion on the floor regarding the briefing schedule
Yeah.
first, and then I do believe we already agreed to continue the matter to hearing on the 21st. So I would go back to confirm, and correct me if I'm wrong here, the briefing schedule, motion to disqualify by 12:16 close of business for response by 12 p.m. on Friday, the 18th. And I would need a motion, and I did not, forgive me if it was already made, I did not note it. Motion by,
I think I made the motion and trustee Henry seconded.
Right.
yes, that was for the hearing date, but I'll take it. Okay. At least that's what my notes tell me. Okay, so Chairman Rogers,
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye, Trustee Henyard,
Aye.
and then there's a motion to recess until 12:21 to 12:30 p.m.
Yes, there is no motion. She asked for a motion to recess.
Okay,
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Was that trustee Henry?
That was me, Clerk
Okay.
Dugan.
Okay. All right.
And the recess is for,
Recess this matter 05 on candidate Higgins until 12:21, 12:30, the hearing, scheduled hearing on the motion to disqualify.
all right.
Chairman Rogers.
Okay. And I don't have it in front of me.
Chairman Rogers, I need an aye or a nay.
A vote.
Okay. I'm sorry. Aye.
Okay, Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
So now do we schedule it for a hearing on December 23rd? Is that what you were saying?
No,
Is that-
what'll happen is you will recess until the 21st, and the 21st, this case will be called up again. There will be a hearing on the motion to disqualify, depending on what happens then. We'll either have to set a new board, or we will then move on with the agenda that was set for today, regarding adopting the rules, etc.
Okay.
And then asking the parties if they want to set briefs and setting another date at that point. So we'll go and so based on briefing schedules, or just if that's, I'm jumping ahead of myself. There's multiple possibilities. So, but one possibility would then require a briefing schedule and setting it for hearing. But we won't get to that until the 21st. Okay.
All right.
All right. So it sounds like the parties, the board would like then to skip to, or would like to next call Belcher versus Towers 2020 DMOEB 07, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
now for the sake of time here, rather than go through the the statement from the governor,
Right.
could we ask acceptance from the attorneys and then continue forward so we can get, in regards to time?
Can you call the roll call?
Okay.
And we'll set the same briefing schedule.
All right, great. All right. Madam Clerk, you want to call the roll?
Sure. Chairman Rogers,
Here.
Clerk Dugan here, Trustee Henyard,
Present.
Okay, members of the board are here. 3 members of the board. Okay, Attorney Samuelson,
Yes.
do we need to read this, or will everybody acknowledge the acceptance?
I think next is that the objector is planning on filing a motion to disqualify the board, members of the board. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And so then we would set the same briefing schedule as we did in 05 of the motion to disqualify being due tomorrow, December 16th at close of business, response due December 18th at noon, and setting it for hearing on December 21st at 12:30. Can I get a motion to accept the briefing schedule?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. It's been a motion.
Chairman Rogers,
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henyard,
Aye.
Motion carried.
And then can I get a motion? There are no public comments on this case, so can I get a motion to recess until December 21st at 12:30?
We're gonna hear both of them at the same time?
We'll hear probably back to back.
Okay, all right. Trustee Henry, did you make a motion?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, I'll second it. Roll call.
Chairman Rogers,
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Motion carried, 3 ayes.
All right. Calling case number 2020 DMOEB 06, Kiana Belcher versus Valeria Stubbs. Can I get a roll call?
Roll call.
Chairman
Madam Clerk.
Rogers,
Here.
Clerk Dugan here. Trustee Henyard.
Present.
Members of the board are here.
All right, next would be adoption of the rules of procedure. I had sent a copy of the rules of procedure to the members of the board and to the attorneys. As I stated previously, these are the standard rules adopted by Cook County and the City of Chicago. The only change to these rules that you haven't seen in other years are the sections addressing the pandemic and the need to hold the hearings remotely, which is found in section 2A. Can I get a motion to adopt the rules?
Motion to adopt the rules.
Second.
There's been motion and second to adopt the rules. Madam Clerk.
Chairman Rogers.
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Motion carried, 3 ayes.
Okay. Can the parties please introduce themselves?
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski on behalf of the objector.
And Keith Spence on behalf of the candidate.
Okay, and both parties have filed appearances. And can you please confirm that you have received a copy of the rules of procedure?
I
Confirmed.
acknowledge receipt. Yeah.
Okay. At this time, I would introduce, label, and ask for the entry of the electoral board exhibits. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2, the candidate's nomination papers. Exhibit 3, the call of the electoral board. Exhibit 4, the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit 5, proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. And Exhibit 6, the rules of procedure. And Exhibit 7, which would be the proof of service and the waivers of service for the electoral board members. Could I please have a motion to adopt the rules and adopt the exhibits into evidence?
Make a motion to adopt the exhibit.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion and second to adopt the exhibits as entered. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Rogers.
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion carried, 3 ayes.
Next, I would ask that the objector's attorney provide a summary of the issues raised and state whether they are purely legal or if they are factual matters that need to be determined.
Thank you very much again, Tiffany Nelson Jaworski on behalf of the objector. The issue in this case deals with the failure to date the notary, and on the circulator's affidavit at the bottom of each petition sheet, each and every petition sheet in the packet was in fact not dated where the notary jurat is at the bottom. It's our belief that that is required under the Illinois Public Notary Act and likewise under the Illinois Election Code. And as such, the candidates' petitions are invalid in their entirety and should be stricken, and the candidate's name should be removed from the ballot.
Okay. Attorney Spence, do you have anything you would like to say in response?
Yes, we will be seeking leave to file a motion to strike and dismiss.
Okay.
I don't know if we can still keep these on the same briefing schedule.
I have no objection to that.
Okay, so it would be that briefs are due close of business on December 18th. The response is due December 21st at close of business. And then a question for the board, would you like to put these cases on December 22nd or split them up and have these heard on December 23rd?
I'd like to have them on one date.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
I think the issues are pretty much the same with regards to the three trustee objections that I have.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're identical issues. And I mean, if, you know, for the purpose of judicial economy, I certainly would have no objection to having all of these heard at once. We have the exact same electoral board for all three objections. For the objections to Ms. Stubbs, and that's 06, Mr. Wolf, and that's 08, and Mr. Young, that's 09. So I would have no objection to that. The other objections against the other candidates are obviously different electoral boards. And,
Right.
you know, a minor fact difference with the Shaw petition. These three trustee candidates, we have the exact same electoral board, exact same issues. So if it would please the board, and I think opposing counsel agrees with me on this, that if we can argue these in a consolidated manner, and if that's convenient for the court reporter too, because I'm sure it's already hard enough for her to take down the transcript. So if it's convenient for all parties, I would have no objection to that.
Yeah, I have no objection.
Can we bundle this since all the objections are the same and since the same board members are hearing this matter? Can we call them all right now, bundle it, make the call and the date and the time, just to save time for these matters?
I think for the purposes of judicial review, we technically.
She said.
Okay,
Court-
so normally,
Needs to talk.
normally what we do is they will argue one case and then they will agree to have the argument from that case inserted into the record for the other two cases that are the same, if that
Great.
works for you guys. That's what they've done in years past.
Great.
That's correct.
And we've caught Attorney Jaworski.
But you have to put that on the record because I was not typing while I was speaking.
Oh, sure.
Yes, okay.
Attorney Jaworski, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think you brought that up, and Attorney Spence did also. So we've started with the 06 case, and as the clerk indicated, if we can insert that right now and get a motion and agree to it, then we're done at least I'm done for today.
Well, I think we still need to call each case individually because you still need to convene each board. But obviously your attorney, I think will tell you that.
Yeah.
And then I think that at that point we can adopt the briefing schedules, the similar briefing schedules. And then on Tuesday when they're heard, we can agree to have them. They can be heard consecutively you can even put them on it all at the same time. And me and Attorney Spence, we can just ask the board to then adopt our arguments from the first case. And the court reporter who has done this a ton, she knows what she's doing. She will then put those arguments, literally pretty much cut and paste them into each case thereafter. And that way we have separate records, which we have to maintain separate records. in case anybody wants to take a case up on appeal. So that would be my statement.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So we would be setting this case for hearing on December 22nd at 2:30. And I will note that for the other cases that we've yet to call today. So the briefing schedule is briefs are due close of business December 18th. Responses due December 21st, close of business. The case is set for hearing on December 22nd at 12:30.
2:30.
At 2:30. The case is set for hearing at December 22nd at 2:30. Can I get a motion from the board to adopt the briefing schedule?
Motion to adopt a briefing schedule.
Second. Mayor Rogers is called away for a moment. He's returning.
Okay, then let's take a brief
I think he's about to log on. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Mayor, we had a motion and a second to approve the briefing schedule with the hearing on the matters to continue to December 22nd at 2:30, or set for December 22nd at 2:30.
Okay.
And I'll call the
Take a
roll.
Okay.
Chairman Rogers?
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Motion carries 3 ayes.
Seeing as there are no public comments on this case, are there any other matters for, there are no public comments. Therefore, I'd ask for a motion to recess the board until, on this case, until December 22nd at 2:30.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
There be no discussion. Chairman Rogers?
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henry?
Aye.
All right, calling case number 2020 DMOEB 08, Kiana Belcher versus Mark Wolf. Will we please get a roll call to establish quorum?
Roll call.
Chairman Rogers?
Aye.
Here. Clerk Dugan, here. Trustee Henry?
Present.
Okay, as I stated, the rules of procedure have been sent to all of the board members and to the parties. They are the standard rules. The only change is for the COVID-19 pandemic. Can I please get a motion to adopt the rules of procedure as presented?
So moved.
Second. Roll.
Chair Rogers?
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Okay. Can the parties please introduce themselves?
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski on behalf of the objectors.
And Keith Spence on behalf of the candidate.
Okay. And I have received appearances on behalf of the parties. Can you please confirm that you have received copies of the rules of procedure?
Received, confirmed.
Acknowledge receipt.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to introduce, label, and enter the electoral board exhibits. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2, the candidate's nomination papers. Exhibit 3, the call of the electoral board. Exhibit 4, the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit 5, the proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6, the rules of procedure, and Exhibit 7, the proofs of service and waivers of service for the electoral board. Can I get a motion to accept the electoral board's exhibits into evidence?
So move. Is there a second?
Second. Trustee Henry? Roll call. Chair Rogers?
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Motion carried 3 ayes.
At this time, I request that the objector's attorney provide a summary of issues raised and state whether they are purely legal or if there are any factual matters.
Thank you. It is a purely legal matter. The ultimate question is whether the notary on the circulator's affidavit needs to be dated. We believe it's a violation of the Illinois Notary Act as stated in the prior cases that have the similar objection pending. And we believe the candidate should be removed from the ballot for not satisfying the mandatory provisions of the Illinois Election Code and the Illinois Notary Act.
Okay. Attorney Spence,
We will be seeking leave to file a motion to strike, to dismiss. And if we could have the same briefing schedule as previously indicated for candidate Stubbs.
okay, so the briefing schedule would be the brief is due by the close of business on December 18th. The response is due December 21st at the close of business. In this case, will be heard for hearing on December 22nd at 2:30. Can I get a motion to accept the briefing schedule?
Motion to accept briefing schedule.
Second.
Second.
Chair Rogers?
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Okay, and then there are no public comments on this case. So can I get a motion to continue this until December 22nd at 2:30?
So move.
Second.
Chair Rogers?
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Motion carried, 3 ayes.
All right, we have our last one.
Yes.
So, calling case number 2020 DMOEB09, Kiana Belcher versus Bobby G. Young. Can I get a roll call?
Chair Rogers?
Aye. Here.
Clerk Dugan here. Trustee Henry?
Present.
A quorum has been established. At this time, adoption of the rules of procedure. As I stated before, the rules of procedure have been sent to the members of the electoral board as well as the attorneys for the parties. These rules of procedure or the standard rules have been adopted by Cook County and by the state of Chicago. The only significant change is section 2A, which deals with the pandemic and allowing for the hearings to be done remotely. At this time, I would ask for a motion to adopt the rules of procedure.
Motion to adopt the rules and procedures.
Second. Mayor Rogers? Chair Rogers?
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Motion carried, 3 ayes.
At this time, I would ask that the parties introduce themselves.
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski on behalf of the objector.
And Keith Spence on behalf of the candidate.
Okay. We have received copies of appearances from the attorneys for the parties. Can you please confirm that you have received a copy of the rules of procedure?
Received.
I acknowledge receipt.
Okay. This time I'd like to introduce, label, and enter the electoral board exhibits. Exhibit 1 is the objector's petition. Exhibit 2, the candidate's nomination papers. Exhibit 3, the call of the electoral board. Exhibit 4, the agenda for the initial hearing. Exhibit 5, proofs of service, waiver of service, and appearances filed by the parties. Exhibit 6, the rules of procedure, and Exhibit 7, the proofs of service and waivers of service for the electoral board members. I would ask for a motion to accept the electoral board's exhibits into evidence.
A motion that we accept the electoral board procedures. as
Second.
evidence.
There being no discussion, Chair Rogers?
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Motion carried, 3 ayes.
I would request that the objector's attorney provide a summary of the issues raised and state whether they are purely legal or if there are factual matters to be discussed.
Thank you very much. As stated previously in the other cases that are similar to this, the issue in this matter is whether the notary needs to be dated on the candidate's petition sheets at the bottom of the circulator's affidavit. In this case, None of the petition sheets were dated where the notary had signed the petitions and notarized the circulator's affidavit. And as such, we believe that that is a fatal error. It's a violation of the Illinois Election Code and the Illinois Notary Act, and that the candidate's name should not be printed on the ballot.
Attorney Spence, do you have a response?
Yes, we will be seeking leave to file a motion to strike and dismiss. We are seeking the same briefing schedule. It's case numbers 06 and 08.
Okay. So that briefing schedule would be that the brief is due by the close of business on December 18th. The response is due by the close of business on December 21st. And this case is set for hearing on the motion on December 22nd at 2:30. Can I get a motion to accept the briefing schedule?
Motion
make
to
a
accept
motion.
briefing.
Motion by Chair Rogers, second by Trustee Henyard. Chair Rogers.
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Okay, and looking at the public comments, there are no public comments on this case. Are there any other matters for the electoral board that and they need to discuss at this time?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Seeing none, I would ask for a motion to recess this board until December 22nd at 2:30 or for this case.
I make a motion to accept the recess of this board until December 22nd, 2020 at, was that 2:30?
2:30.
2:30. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. So motion is been seconded to recess this board. So noted. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Rogers.
Aye.
Clerk Dugan, aye. Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to, second.
I think we did, didn't we?
It's not a motion to adjourn, if I may, because if you're adjourning, you're closing the entire proceedings out. You're just doing.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, the recess.
Motion-
I think you're
motion to
good.
recess.
We're done.
Yes. So we will see everybody again on December 21st.
Yes.
At
Thank you,
12:30.
everybody. Okay, see
All
you
right,
then.
Take care. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
you.